Hello, hello, and welcome back to Shelter is thing. We're still in this flashback with good old Maximus. Yeah, but when they did, a ladder found my head instead, and knocking me out with a loud smash. As expected, the next few weeks saw great changes in Shelter. Of course, we couldn't expect everything to switch overnight, but it was the little details that showed promise. We temporarily had way less working seats in the tavern after that brawl, but that didn't stop more of the new dogs from coming to interact and have a good time. Dogs I didn't see interacting with others much finally found their own little group of friends. The cliques were still a bother, but their abusive practices weren't always ignored anymore. Everyone knew about the new faction that started in Shelter, led by the Dukshun brothers. One strong with words, one deadly with his hands. They were gaining more influence with each passing week. Bury and Ruin warned me that something felt wrong about those dogs, but I was convinced that their appearance was the best that could have happened at us at the time. Unfortunately, they were right. Eventually, we were faced with a great crisis that threatened to destroy the future of Shelter. And all of that had Akari and Maximus in the center of that. We lost a lot during those unfortunate events. Akari isn't with us anymore. But when it mattered the most, even with his brother gone, it was Max who dedicated all of his being to protect the new family he found in Shelter. He wouldn't be an understatement. It wouldn't be an understatement to say that we owe Max our future. Right now, Shelter is the biggest and most harmonious it has ever been. There are no more cliques and other kinds of exclusive factions. Max chose to take on the role of a gleeman. He also sometimes helps me with the relics. He doesn't mention his brother often, but I think he keeps himself busy to ease that longing. Hazing simply doesn't happen anymore, but the newly arriving newcomers have to be prepared to be showered with overwhelming curiosity and positive attention from our locals. Those changes took some time to develop in our community, but they did. It made me find a renewed appreciation for canines, even if they sometimes act like bad dogs. They are also easily impressionable, and each one, without exceptions, can become better when shown the right way. They are the most socially malleable species in the world. So, those were the last major events in Shelter so far. Now, with the fixed course of our shared life journey, we can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Shelter doesn't like stagnation. But that's all good. No matter what hardships we may face within ourselves, the other people or the world itself, I know there is nothing we can fail anymore. Because we are not alone anymore. Third Howl, The Call to Family. Was there always like chapter titles? Wait, what? Do I remember? Do I think? I don't know. My bread's gotten cold. It's still great though. Holy shit. I remember that I forgot that I had a half-drinking bottle of Gatorade behind the tissue box. It's one of those small bottles, so I actually couldn't see it. So I do have a drink. Isn't that neat? I don't know, surprise food and drink is kind of fun, but I prefer when, like, you get surprise money. Like, isn't it the greatest feeling in the world when you, like, put on a jacket that you haven't, like, worn in a minute, and you find, like, a $5 bill in one of the pockets, and you're like, yo, lit! I'm $5 richer than I thought. And then you immediately spend it. Because you didn't account for it in your budget anyway. You know how it is.
Okay, here we are. Ah, it smells good. And the campfires and the food stalls are there.
We finally reach the outside of shelter. There are crowds of dogs, as far as I can see. All of them loud, excited, and happy. Also, some of them are really light clothed. I have a thick coat and boots on, so I'm fine. The majority of the canines are similar, but some of them are nearly or fully naked. Well, at least it's not windy here, since we're surrounded by the hills and shelter. The dogs from Rin's training class must be freezing their balls off at the training grounds on the top deck. You hungry? I would have grabbed you something from Burry if I knew.
Nah, and not a problem. I obviously wouldn't like to disregard Burry's cooking. But come on, how often do you get to try food from Skies Ablaze stalls? We'll have more to choose from than we could possibly eat in one day.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't remember if I've ever tried one of those.
You kidding me? Oh boy, we'll have to fix that. I have at least a dozen snacks I'd like you to try.
Awesome. Let's pray I can take them. There's a bunch of canine stuff that doesn't agree with my stomach.
Like raw or aged meat.
Yeah, it just doesn't smell good to me.
That's fine. You should always trust your nose. We're sure to find a whole bunch of stuff you would like. We're both gonna get stuffed full.
Are you sure you shouldn't be careful with food because before your big performance?
Why should I? What's the point of Skies Ablaze if I can't treat myself? Don't worry. I got all of it planned out. I got a nice jingle in my head. It's all gonna be fine.
Yeah, it sounded really nice during the practice in your room. I'm sure the guys will love it.
And it's going to be even better with some light percussion. And the crowd a-wooing and all that. And Luke, now that you're here, it's going to be even better.
Thanks. I'll be sure to cheer you on from the audience and help you keep the hype up.
Oh, that's great. But I was thinking about something even better. Something I really couldn't do without you. I'll tell you in a sec. For now, I think I should go find Salon and Pio Bar, quickly. I need to tell them that we're going to be performing a bit earlier this time.
If you're not going to perform, so you're not going to perform solo, right?
Sometimes I do, but it's nicer to have someone supporting me with some percussion. A shaker and light drums make a huge difference.
It's going to be hard to find them in this crowd. Don't tell me you're gonna sniff them. Even with your nose, that's...
Why not? I know they smell. I know how they smell. You know, they're my friends.
You know, I still find it unbelievable that you can just recognize someone with your nose. There must be countless dogs you've met in your life.
You've met countless dogs in your life too, but you can always recognize each of us without even having to sniff us out, right? Just by looking at us, that's even more amazing.
Oh, come on, that's not the same. You're not blind. It's not like you can't see.
And you're not nose blind. You can smell, right? Just like your strength doesn't lie in your nose, neither does ours in our eyes. I can see, but I think I'd struggle to recognize specific people sometimes if I only had my sight to go by, and I wasn't allowed to smell.
Max smiles at me and wags his tail. I wonder if he's downplaying his capabilities as a canine, or if that's all true. Despite living with canines for half my life, I will never know how it is to be one. Even if I use canine mana to dip into their senses, my eyesight always stays good.
Anyway, it'll probably be the quickest if I go look for them on my own. I'll try to be back soon. How about you wait here for me next to that metal blocky thing on the wheels? As soon as I'm back, we can go check out the stalls.
I'd only slow him down, huh? I know he doesn't mean anything by that, and he's kinda right, but that still kinda stings. Sure, sure, no problem. Go get him, boy.
Be bark in a minute.
Max gives me a quick salute and runs away, blending into the crowd. I'm left on my own, surrounded by a whole bunch of dogs minding their own business or talking with their friends in a small group. There's nobody I recognize from my work at the tavern. I can't help but feel like a lost child. I'm no stranger to solitude, but I feel that loneliness is better to bear with when you're not actually surrounded by people. At least I can make my sigh as loud as I want, because it gets drowned in the sound of noise anyway. I carefully step over over a naked snow-bathing dog and approach the metal thing on wheels. It's one of those weird, complicated, heavy machines of the ancients, with no clear purpose. It has doors and a small room with soft seats inside, as well as a built-in chests in the front and back. Some theorize it could be a kind of mobile cabin. Two canines can push it from the back, and the front usually has those sturdy metal rods where you can attach a harness for pulling. But that doesn't make sense. It's unnecessarily heavy, badly insulated, and the ridiculous number of additional relic parts contained within it lead me to believe it could be a weapon of some kind. Please, just don't blow up here randomly.
What was that, boy? So many handsome sights. You can't contain your loins.
What? No, I'm not talking to myself. Don't eavesdrop. Thistle, sir, is that you?
Indeed it is, Afternoon, human. Very nice of you to accept my invitation. I have been waiting for you.
Of course, I totally remembered.
Come, humor a dog with a quick chat. Oh hey, it's the thumbnail.
I was wondering when this was gonna show up in the game. I don't know, I thought this image was nice, and it was on the Ichto page, so that's why I used it. There was no other reason. I walk around the big metal relic to find Thistle, sitting on the snow of one of the big black wheels. Thistle. I was told I've been saying this wrong, but I don't... It's Thistle, right? I don't know. The old blue healer holds his light bone pipe, spreading thick white smoke and mist through the cold air. A box of his personal stash of fancy dog treats rests in the snow of his front. It's a good spot, surrounded by the metal house on wheels and high snow hills. It's relatively quiet, away from the busy walking paths, and there's no wind here. You found yourself a nice cozy corner, sir.
Indeed, I like it too. Even more with the company. Come on, boy, sit down.
With an, inviting smile and a few pats on the ground, he urges me to join him. I squat carefully, mindful to not freeze and, wet my bottom in the snow.
Good boy. Now, shake.
He reaches out his hand. I give him a strong, confident handshake.
Good boy, human. Good boy. You can have a treat.
With a wide grin full of pride, he pushes the treats box in my direction. I'm really not a fan of those, but it would be rude to refuse. I grab one, thank him, and slowly reach my hand towards my pocket. But Thistle's expecting stare makes me raise the treat back up to my mouth instead. I eat it in front of him as a courtesy. Thistle swishes his fluffy tail in happiness, watching me chew on the awful mix of dry grains and spoiled meat. I gag and almost puke while forcing the mush down my throat. How can they eat this stuff and not get sick? That's so delicious.
They are, aren't they? It's one of my oldest treasures. I keep them in a secret snow hole and take them out only for skies ablaze.
Yeah, they taste pretty old, not gonna lie.
Like wine they are, better with every passing season.
Thistle chuckles and puts a piece in his own mouth. He lets out a content moan. So was this how you're spending skies ablaze? Just you, your pipe, and your snacks on your own?
I don't mind. I've already had enough socializing for today. I do enjoy my alone time too.
You also said at Cooper's that you wanted to talk about something, right?
Ah, that. Yeah, right, so. Listen, human. I was wondering if maybe at any point in the past you,
what is it? I can't hear you.
Never mind. Silly me. It's not really that important. What about you? How come you aren't with any company?
I'm actually hanging out with Max, but he left to look for his buddies for now.
Ha! Poor human, abandoned on his very first Skies Ablaze date. What is that, tuned thinking? But don't let that spoil your day. I can be your date for tonight. If you'd have a mature daddy like me instead.
I stare at him with suspicion. Thistle definitely has something he wants to talk about. But he's too embarrassed. Is he trying to flirt with me? No, excuse me. To steer the talk away from something more important. I know that he's a stubborn dog, so if he wants to change the topic for now, I feel I should let him. Maybe he'll share his embarrassing question when he's more comfortable later. In that case, I will. Oh, that would be lovely if you weren't taken already.
Am I?
Don't tell me you don't have a date secured already. You're the most handsome dog of the whole bunch.
Oh, human.
Thistle chuckles and shakes his head flustered, but his tail wags left and right. He's so easy to win over with cheesy compliments.
Believe it or not, but I have no date tonight. I usually like to watch the crowds and get lost in thoughts during days like these. I do love my one-night stands, but truth be told, I have never really been much into the whole dating business with other dogs.
Well, I'm not a dog.
Indeed you are not.
We stare into each other's eyes in silence. There is a gentle, hard-to-read smirk curling on Thistle's muzzle. What is that old dog thinking? He doesn't say anything. He just looks at me. What should I do to break the silence? Without breaking our eye contact, I reach out and put my hand on his leg. The smirk slowly drops from his muzzle. His ears turn red. Oh, hello. Yes, sir. Yes, I can be your date. Thistle gulps audibly and shudders, unable to come up with a response. It's hilarious and surprising to look at him acting like that. He always talks like a horny teenager, but apparently he freezes when it comes to action. No, that's wrong. I've heard from multiple people how promiscuous Thistle is despite his age. He's apparently as horny as he appears. Maybe he hesitates only because this time it's with me. I'm exotic and unfamiliar to him. Oh, okay. Wow, human. It's so hot in here, isn't it? He loosens his mantle and exposes more of his chest to me. It's full of fluffy fur, sprinkled with a bunch of gray fur, and he shows... is he showing off to me? Honestly, sir, it's not hot at all. It's freezing cold. Well then. Okay, I'll end the part here. So I'll see you all around.